One really important point around statistical significance is that statistical significance is not clinical relevance. Statistical significance is not practical importance. Doesn't have anything to do with real world ramifications. Statistical significance only means that statistical significance. And I'll show you some examples of this. You see this misused all the time, and you have to be on the lookout for this. See how these words are a little bit slanted and a little bit bolder and a little bit thicker? That means this is important. I'm going to say that this is so important that we don't ever want to use the word significant unless we're talking about statistical significance. If you want to talk about something having clinical relevance or practical importance or real world ramifications, say that, but save the word significant for statistical significance. This figure is a little bit weird, but I really like this figure. This figure shows some hypothetical findings from a study, and it says, let's look at the confidence interval for our study and see, by looking closely at the bounds of the CI, whether we can judge statistical significance or clinical relevance. And let's talk about it in the context of walking minutes per day. So we saw in a previous example that if you had an intervention and you found that walking was something like this, say you had this confidence interval, what have you learned in your study? Well, you really didn't learn anything at all. You started this because you wanted to know, does this intervention work? And you found this CI that says, hey, maybe it works. But the other bound of this says, hey, maybe this sucks, doesn't work at all, it makes people walk less. So this is interesting. We said that this difference or this confidence interval indicated that it was not statistically significant. But we also see something interesting is that the CI includes two findings that would be of real clinical importance. If you designed an intervention where people walked on the average 36 more minutes per day, you would be on that list with Jon Snow ripping the handle off the Broad Street pump, people figuring out how to fluoridate water, people figuring out a vaccine. You'd have the greatest public health intervention of all time. Your data are consistent with that. Your data are also consistent with you designing one of the worst interventions of all time, making people walk on the average 24 minutes a day less. So what have you learned in this study? You didn't learn anything at all. You didn't learn anything at all. But let's imagine that you got a confidence interval that looked something like this. If your confidence interval is -2 to 36, well, it's still not statistically significant because 0 is included in there. But you've learned a little more in that this intervention, look at this bottom line, it's maybe not harmful, but there's some potential in here. There might be something good. Tweak it a little bit, change it a little bit more. If you're cynical, you can just say, get a bigger sample size, shrink that down, and you have more precision, and it will be statistically significant. What if you got a confidence interval that went something like this? 2 to 4. Well, it's statistically significant. You might get to put an asterisk next to it. It might get published. But if I told you, hey, I have this intervention, roll it out into your town, people will walk 3 minutes a day extra, you would say, I don't know if that's worth it. But what's 3 minutes a day? Does that have any clinically beneficial effect at all? And so this is an interesting situation where there's an effect and it's statistically significant, but it might not be of any clinical relevance. You can see that on the chart right in the middle here. There's an example of what they call effect present, but clinically unimportant. And we've already seen this one, can neither confirm nor exclude an important effect. What if you got something that was like this? Well, that's exciting. That's statistically significant. It's clinically relevant. You're awesome. And that would be something I'll circle in this top right corner. There's a clinically important benefit. You would publish that right away. What if you found something that was -40 to -42? Hide it away, run away? No, I think you'd want to publish that one too, right? And say, hey guys, if you're going to design an intervention, Don't do this. Here are all the things that will make people walk much less. So I think it's really important to not only look at whether something is statistically significant or not, but also to look at the bounds of the CI and the numbers themselves and say, is this clinically relevant? Could this have any practical importance? Remember, looking to see if 0 or the null value is in there will tell you if it's statistically significant. What number do you look at to see if it's clinically relevant? Well, there's no number or answer to that. You have to ask somebody who's an expert. We're all experts in walking. We know a little bit. If you walked an extra 40 minutes a day, it'd have tremendous benefits. We know that because we all walk. But if I told you, well, check this one out. Dark chocolate may lower your blood pressure. You seen this headline? Dark chocolate may lower your blood pressure. New research finds that dark chocolate can lower your blood pressure. But you got to ask, how much? If it's statistically significant, is it going to have any clinical relevance at all? If you dig a little bit deeper into this paper, people who ate dark chocolate had blood pressure that were 2 millimeters of mercury lower. I hear Antonia, my producer, she's laughing at that. She knows that that's dumb. 2 millimeters of mercury is completely meaningless. Here's how you can lower your blood pressure, 2 millimeters. Ready? Close your eyes, breathe in, and breathe out. There you go. You just lowered your blood pressure. 2 millimeters is nothing. Look down here. This is the idea of the white coat syndrome. Just when someone measures your blood pressure, you get tense and you stress out. Your blood pressure can go up 20 or 30. So yes, dark chocolate significantly lowers your blood pressure, but is it relevant? Probably not. Is it worth it? Well, it depends, right? What are the benefits of dark chocolate? What are the other risks of it? So pay attention, look closely at the confidence intervals so you can assess, of course, whether there's statistical significance, but also whether there is clinical relevance.